haven't done a reading wrap-up in like so long, but I am also having trouble remembering what I actually read within this time span, so Matt and I started watching Frasier for some reason. So he's doing that in the bedroom right now. So I had some snack and I looked up the books that I had read. So I left off on the Grimm Grotto and the Buried Giant. The Grimm Grotto is book number 11 of the series of unfortunate events. It's a water-based setting. They're in a submarine for most of it, and there's some family connections, putting families on different sides of the schism. I thought it was okay. I don't want to give away like a huge amount of spoilers with it. It was okay. I didn't really like the characters in this one. Weirdly, it felt more dark and dreary than most of them. I more liked it as a way to get further along than as its own, like, piece. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It might be a 3 out of 5. Because I can't remember a whole lot about it. I know it's been kind of a while since I read it. Not the most memorable. The next book I read was The Buried Giant. I read this as an audiobook, which I think was a good idea. I recall taking a bath while listening to this, so that was a pretty dope experience. I really liked this book. I had no idea what to expect, so I was pleasantly surprised. I know I read some reviews from folks who'd read Oh, Never Let Me Go. I thought it was really interesting. It's kind of in like a fantasy setting, like a villager's fantasy setting. I really liked that it was about an older couple, because I haven't really read that much about an older couple, and especially this like constant idea of memory with these older folks. I thought it was a very cool concept, and I liked how it was executed. There are some parts of it that maybe weren't as interesting to me as other parts, but overall I thought it was really cool. I gave it a 5 out of 5. Hell yeah! Then I read The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out of the Window and Disappeared. This one is again about like an old person. This one's a little odd. It's entertaining to me. I think the way that it was structured was kind of strange, and it is a lot about like tall tales and storytelling. I read some reviews that were disappointed. Yeah, people thinking that it was tedious. And then I think there were, if I recall correctly, comparisons with like Forrest Gump, but maybe in like a not so positive way. I don't know, I thought it was entertaining. I also listened to this one as an audiobook, and I was drawing at the same time for a lot of it. And sometimes I found myself drifting away or like popping back in without knowing I wasn't paying attention. So that happened a couple times, so maybe sometimes it isn't super engaging, but that also might just be, you know, my own fault for not, you know, paying attention as much as I should. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I'm wondering if now that I'm a little more removed from it, if I think it is more a 4 out of 5. It made me want to know more things. Oh god, then I read one of the worst books ever. The Horse and His Boy. I tried reading this maybe like a year or 2 years ago, and it's in order of publication for the Chronicles of Narnia, number 5. But I think it's the 3rd book in like chronological order. So yeah, I'd read probably quite a bit of it. Now I'm currently reading The Horse and His Boy, I think? Got really bored with it. I thought it was really bad. It was boring as hell. It seemed quite racist. I didn't like that at all. Yeah, I didn't really care about any of the characters or any of the plot or conflict or anything. I gave it a 2 out of 5. I don't know why I went so high. I guess just because it wasn't completely unreadable. I still want to read the Chronicles of Narnia, like, series, just because it seems like an important childhood series. I don't even know what, like, the lesson was. It seemed, like, misguided. I don't know. The next book I read was The Penultimate Peril. This is the 12th book in a series of unfortunate events. I really liked this one. I thought this was super interesting. I could kind of see it as like a movie. It takes place in a really pretty intriguing setting, although there isn't super large amounts of exploration within that space. I'd be interested in like a adult version of that book. That sounds creepy. I mean, just like a more in-depth version of this one I think would be interesting. I hope this isn't a spoiler. It probably is. So the kids are acting as concierge for a hotel in disguise, and they are trying to figure out if the people they are talking with are on one side or the other of the schism, if they are the bad guys or the good guys, basically. Like, that idea was interesting. The way that the three siblings break off and have their own story to tell was interesting. The ending of this one was not happy, obviously. That was, I guess, its only fault. I wonder what I rated this. 4 out of 5. I think, going back to it, this one's a 5 out of 5. Then I read the end of the series of unfortunate events, and this seems kind of in a totally different vein. It's very different to me than the other books. It pays tribute to a lot of shipwreck stories. It's a little bit of a weird way to end. Nearly nothing gets wrapped up, just in case you're wondering. Not super satisfying of an end, but I kind of liked it, with each book kind of adding different aspects to like the mystery and this whole world that the kids inhabit. I think there was no way that all of that could have been tied up in one book. It wouldn't be satisfying. There's too many things that are open to be closed neatly. Kind of a weird one. I don't know actually how long it took to get all of these books out, but if you were a kid when you started, I'm assuming you'd still be a kid by the time it ended. And I'm not sure how this ending works for kids. I would assume it would be wholly unsatisfying and kind of go a bit over their heads, maybe? Maybe not. I love that one of the first questions on Goodreads says, "This book shows pornographic?" ? It is more of a pessimistic children's book. There's no pornography. I give this one a 4 out of 5. And I think I stand by that. Then I read Me Talk Pretty One Day. Basically, since I've known Matt, he's been a fan. Those were the books that he used to read in like high school. Yeah, I've never read anything by David Sedaris before, so I gave it a shot. And some of it made me kind of uncomfortable when I was reading it. Like some of that, maybe not self-reflective, but like some family stuff and, yeah, I guess kind of self-reflective stuff sometimes makes me uncomfortable. I like more of the less connected to real life stuff sometimes. Yeah, overall I liked it. It's real like fast to read. There's nothing there that kind of trips you up. Enjoyable and without extra shit on it. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Yeah, right now I'm reading Let's Explore Diabetes with Owls. Then I'm also reading Fight Club, a real book, not one that's on my phone. Wow. Having seen the movie multiple times before reading this ever, I could just like see the movie. That's it. But I needed to give a wrap up because I finished a series of unfortunate events. I finished a series of 13 books meant for children. So, hell yeah. I hope you enjoyed this, and let me know what you're reading. Okay, bye.